among you, and are over you in the Lord. And his esteem them very highly in love because of their works. Be at peace among yourselves. And we urge you, brothers, admonish the idle, encourage the faint-hearted, help the weak, be patient with them all. See that no one repays anyone evil for evil, but always seeks to do good to one another and to everyone. Rejoice always, pray without ceasing, give thanks in all circumstances. For this is the will of God in Christ Jesus for you. Do not quench the spirit. Do not despise prophecies, but test everything. Hold fast what is good. Abstain from every form of evil. Now may the God of peace himself sanctify you completely, and may your whole spirit, soul, and body be kept blameless at the coming of our Lord Jesus Christ. He who calls you is faithful. He will surely do it. 1 Thessalonians 5:12-25.
Well, welcome, distinguished guests of the Geneva realm, to this celebration of hard work and perseverance. I'm excited you're here to witness the dubbing of these worthy knights and ladies. What you're going to witness today is the culmination of a year's worth of very hard work. The fourth grade students have worked very hard to be faithful to their code of chivalry by being mannerly, working diligently, and growing in grace by attending church and completing daily devotions. Each student has earned knights and ladies points based on responsibility, self-discipline, academic excellence, and they're being rewarded today for their efforts. Fourth graders, we made it. Let me be the first to congratulate you. I'm very proud of all of you. Okay, so to begin with, I would like to direct your attention to these lovely shields on display, and I'm going to share with you the significance of the symbols and the colors. So first, we're going to start with Sir Gavin Elijah Alligood. The red symbolizes warrior or martyr. The red cross through the center shows a strong Christian faith, even one worth fighting for, even to the death. The 3 flowers across the top represent hope and joy. The 4 blue stars stand for the knowledge of good and truth, as well as loyalty. The gold background symbolizes generosity, which I believe fits Gavin perfectly. He is one of the most generous students I know. Lastly, the Alligood family motto is Age Omni Bonum, which means do all good. Next is Lady Lindsay Ellen Baker. Your shield depicts an ermine background with a blue stripe that contains 3 fleur-de-lis. The ermine background is a symbol of royalty and dignity, while the blue signifies steadfastness, loyalty, strength, and truth. The blue holds special significance for the Baker family due to the profession, which is blueberry farming, while the divided scalloped line represents earth and country. Then we have Lady Sarah Ann Bennett. This shield contains 3 white lions on a red background with a golden circle in the middle. The red represents warrior strength, while the yellow represents generosity. The lions are a symbol of ferocity and valor, and I think that fits Sarah very well. Interestingly, the Bennett surname is derived from the Latin given name Benedictus, which means blessed. It became a common given name throughout Europe due to the popularity of Saint Benedict. The next shield belongs to Sir Joshua Haddon Brickhouse. Your shield depicts 3 red crescents upon a golden stripe with 3 lions rampant on the black background. The crescent moons are a symbol of hope, while the lions represent undying courage. Black is actually a color. Alligood family motto is Age Omni Bonum, which means do all good. Next is Lady Lindsay Ellen Baker. Your shield depicts an ermine background with a blue stripe that contains 3 fleur-de-lis. The ermine background is a symbol of royalty and dignity, while the blue signifies steadfastness, loyalty, strength, and truth. The blue holds special significance for the Baker family due to the profession, which is blueberry farming, while the divided scalloped line represents earth and country. Then we have Lady Sarah Ann Bennett. This shield contains 3 white lions on a red background with a golden circle in the middle. The red represents warrior strength, while the yellow represents generosity. The lions are a symbol of ferocity and valor, and I think that fits Sarah very well. Interestingly, the Bennett surname is derived from the Latin given name Benedictus, which means blessed. It became a common given name throughout Europe due to the popularity of Saint Benedict. The next shield belongs to Sir Joshua Haddon Brickhouse. Your shield depicts 3 red crescents upon a golden stripe with 3 lions rampant on the black background. The crescent moons are a symbol of hope, while the lions represent undying courage. Black is actually a color representing constancy, which is the quality of being faithful and dependable. And I believe that depicts you, Josh. Next is Sir Wayland Dudley Heiss. Your shield is divided into opposing quadrants with red stripes crossed with a gold bar and a man holding a candle. The red signifies military strength, the gold bar represents generosity, and the candles represent life and spirituality. Lady Emily Rebecca Holbert, your shield depicts a diagonal ermine stripe with 6 white stars upon a blue background. The blue signifies steadfastness, truth, and loyalty, while the stars represent excellence, and the ermine symbol is a mark of dignity. The name Holbert is derived from an Old English name meaning gracious and bright. Lady Maddie Caroline Joyner, your shield depicts a blue cross upon a white background with 4 fleur-de-lis. The name Joyner is derived from a French word meaning engineer or maker of military machines. Have you made any of those lately? No. The blue represents truth and loyalty, while the fleur-de-lis represents purity and light. Lady Eleni Maria Katsaris, your shield depicts a simple white cross upon a blue background. Does this simple symbol remind our audience of anything? This shield represents Eleni's Greek heritage. The blue represents the color of the ocean surrounding Greece and the character qualities of strength and faith. The white represents the sky, truth, and peace. The cross stands for Christianity and peace through Christ. And the family motto is freedom or death, while the Katsaris name means curly. It's a name from the island of Simi, which is a sister to Tarpon Springs, Florida. Lady Madison Grace Matthews, your shield is decorated with 3 black crosses on a white band and 3 golden lions rampant on a blue background. The crosses are a symbol of unshakable faith, while the lions represent dauntless courage. The blue is a symbol of truth and loyalty, gold represents generosity, and white represents sincerity and peace, and the black represents constancy. The surname Matthews is an ancient English and Scottish surname. Matthew's genealogy indicates that the name is derived from the Hebrew given name Mattathiah, which means gift of the Lord. Matthew's family history shows that this surname gained in popularity when it was given to many sons of the Crusaders upon their father's return from the Holy Land. Next is Sir Tong Wen. Your patriotic shield contains a silver eagle upon a navy blue background. The eagle with its keen eyes is a symbol of courage and strength. The eagle is also considered the king of the skies. As a Christian symbol, the eagle represents salvation, redemption, and resurrection. The blue background represents steadfastness, strength, truth, and loyalty. Lastly, Sir Christian Wiley Simpson, the shape of your shield represents one who exhibits wisdom and achievement in battle. The large lion in the center represents fierce courage, while the silver crescents represent hope of glory and the mark of the second son. The red represents a warrior, the gold represents generosity, and the green represents hope and loyalty in love. The Simpson family motto is never despair. Ladies and gentlemen of the Geneva realm, again we are delighted to have you with us today to celebrate this momentous occasion. These lords and ladies are especially grateful for the support and encouragement of their teachers, parents, and grandparents who have helped them to achieve his or her best this year. Now I would like to invite Sir Bennett, the father of Addie and Sarah Bennett, to deliver a word of encouragement to our lords and ladies and to our Geneva family. Sir Bennett.
Good morning. It's good to be here. This is a fun day. This is the third time our family's been fortunate enough to do this. So 3 of my 4 kids. But I want to say it's an important day too. And so 4th graders, I want to talk to you about that. And I want to explain to you why I think what we're doing is important by reminding you of a story that you should know. Actually, all of the students should know. It's one of my favorite stories. It's the story of the Lion King. Has anybody seen that movie? Okay, so we all should be on the same page then. If you remember the story of the Lion King, Simba, who is the young lion in the story, is born into a royal family. His father, Mufasa, is the king. You remember, Mufasa's killed by his uncle Scar, and Simba's driven into exile. And there, in exile, away from his kingdom, he meets 2 new friends. Do you know their names? Yeah? And Timon. Pumbaa and Timon. And he's there with Pumbaa and Timon, and they teach him a new attitude towards life. What is it? Hakuna Matata, which means no worries for the rest of your days, right? And Simba, when he's there, he forgets all about his old life. He decides to live life just having fun. No responsibilities, no worries, just floating down the river, eating, bugs and berries and those sorts of things. But what he doesn't know is that while he is away, his kingdom is being destroyed because he is the rightful king. He is the rightful king. And so the officials of the kingdom come looking for him, and they find him, and they hope to convince him to return, to take his place on the throne of his kingdom, and to lead the people out of darkness and into flourishing. But do you remember the story? What does he do? At first, he refuses. He wouldn't go back. And he was afraid. He was scared of responsibility. He wanted them to just leave him alone so that he could just have fun and, I guess, lie around all day and not really do anything of much importance. And then one night he has a dream. And this is my favorite part of the story. And in the dream, his father visits him in the dream and confronts him. And here's what his father says to him. His father says, Simba, you have forgotten who you are. You are more than you've become. You need to take your place. And of course, he finds the courage to go back. You know the rest of the story. He wins his kingdom. The land begins to flourish underneath his rule. And that's what I want to say to you this morning. It really is a marvelous story about what can happen to all of us. It's a story about all of our lives, not just a little lion. It really is a story about what it's like to be young and to grow up and to really learn what it means to have responsibility and live for God and His glory and His kingdom. And so this morning I want to say to you 4th graders and to all of us, don't forget who you are. You're more than you've become. You see, don't they look great this morning? All dressed up. But what I want to say is this isn't dress up. The disguise, 4th graders, is the normal everyday clothes you wear, but this is who you really are. And that really is the mastery of the C.S. Lewis stories, the Chronicles of Narnia stories. I'm a big C.S. Lewis fan. And it really is the mastery. It's a story about children who were in reality queens and kings. And 4th graders, you are. I mean, one minute they're playing hide and go seek. The next minute they're playing a pivotal role in a great battle between good and evil. And that really is the truth of your life, of all of our lives. Like Simba, in their absence, Narnia, their kingdom, had crumbled. And it was only when they took their place, when they rose to the occasion, that evil was beaten back. And so after their journey, if you remember the stories, after their journey in Narnia, they came back to their own land. And it was hard for the Pimothy children to settle into being children again because they had gotten a taste that they were made for more than just hide and seek. They were meant to live bigger lives. And so don't forget who you are. You're more than you've become. We don't expect much from 4th graders these days, but I think we should. Listen, you are capable of so much more than you might think. A knight or a lady is someone who knows that their life has been called up into some grand purpose. And they are extraordinary. They live beyond the normal person with a sense of purpose and identity and purpose and calling in the service of their Lord or their King. And therefore their whole life is lived on purpose. There's a code. You've been learning about this, right? There's a chivalrous code, an agreed upon way of life that goes beyond the normal way of living because what they're doing is so important. So don't have a small vision for your life, even at your age. Have you ever heard of Brian Zimmerman? You have. I have. Brian Zimmerman, in 1983, when he was 11 years old, was elected the mayor of his hometown in Texas. Have you ever heard of things being written in Braille? Louis Braille was 10 years old when he began to develop the language for people with vision impairments to read by. It took him 3 years to finish. Think of how many people he helped. Willie Johnson was an 11-year-old drummer boy in the Union Army in the Civil War, and during the 7 Days Battle in 1862, his division was being driven back by the Confederate Army. And he kept his cool. He stayed at his post, drumming out the beat for an orderly retreat. And on that day, he was the last person in his army to leave the battlefield. 11 years old, Abraham Lincoln, the president, personally awarded him the Medal of Honor for his bravery. Jordan Romero climbed Mount Kilimanjaro when he was 9. Victoria Van Meter became the youngest girl, listen, to fly across the United States at age 11. Mozart's operas were being professionally performed by the time he was 13 or 14. You are capable of so much more, even now, as young as you are, than you realize. And so remember, you're more than you've become. You must take your place. Don't forget who you are. Now, you were made, let me get to the Bible now. You were made by God to expect great things from Him and to attempt great things for Him. And so I want to just very quickly look at the beginning and the very end of the Bible. Because if something's at the very beginning of the Bible and it's also at the very end of the Bible, what do you think that means? It's really about what everything in between is about. And at the very beginning of the Bible, God, we're told, makes man, every single one of us, in His own image to rule and have dominion and fill the earth with images of God. That they were in this paradise that God had made for them, but then they were to go and to make the rest of the world the paradise of God. Images of God. We're made in His image. You're an image of God. And in ancient times, only pharaohs and kings were called images of God. And the ancient peoples believed that the kings and the pharaohs and the emperors, if heaven was here and the earth was here, the pharaohs and the kings were somewhere in between, and their job was to learn the will of the gods in heaven and then to use their political power to make whatever God wanted to happen on the earth. And Moses came along and he said, it's not just pharaohs and kings that are the images of God. We're all made in God's image. You know what that means? We're all made to be kings. We're all created to use our talents and resources and influence to see God's kingdom come and His will be done on earth as it is in heaven. That's your job. That's your job. As adults, that's your job, no matter what your job is. Now, fourth graders, do you think the President of the United States is an important man? He makes decisions that affect billions of lives, which these days is a scary thought. But think about this. Think about this. The teaching of the Bible is that because you were made in God's image, the decisions that you make are just as important as the decisions that He makes. That you have the same capacity to change lives and affect the world that people in really important positions of authority do. That the men and women that you grew up to be, and the careers you choose to undertake, and who you'll marry, and where you're going to live, and what you're going to do, and all of these things, all of those things that are going to be a part of your life in the next 10, 15, 20 years will change the world forever. You are just as important as any president or king because you're made in God's image. But do you know what that also means? It means you have incredible capacity to harm and to injure. If you've seen the old Spider-Man movie, not the new ones, with great power comes great responsibility. Because great power means you have potential. That's your destiny, fourth graders, to sit on a throne, to have dominion, to live a life that's very in keeping with what we're doing here. Remember, this isn't dress up. Your disguise is the plain, everyday, normal clothes that you wear. Today, you're really coming into what you really are. So don't forget. Don't become less than who God has made you to be. You're a son. You're a daughter of the Most High God, made in His image to rule and have dominion. And so my encouragement to you is take your place. That's what today's about, I think. Part of what today's about. And so can I pray for you? I'd love to pray for you, and then we'll we'll move on. So, Father, I do pray for these boys and girls that you would use today to fire their imagination for what you've really made them to be, what you desire for them to be. And I pray for the adults, for their parents, that you would use it for the same purpose, that we as their parents would live believing we are raising kings and queens. Images of God who have incredible power to change the world. What a high and holy calling you've given us as parents. Find us faithful in that, I pray. But for these boys and girls, I do pray you would strengthen their resolve to love you, cause them to love you more today, give them a great courage to serve you. All of these lions and all of these shields symbolizing bravery and courage. That's the way we want to live. So help us to live that way for your glory. And use today to do that, we pray. In Jesus' name, amen.
So fourth graders this year have tackled their very first research report, bibliography and all. And today I have one student who is going to come up and present to you his report on the important heroes of the Middle Ages. So find that courage, Mr. Wiley Simpson. Come on up here and share your report.
Important heroes of the Middle Ages. A long time ago, in lands far away, knights played important roles in their realms. They didn't just fight in battles, they also performed chivalrous acts towards women. Many stories prove that knights acted courageously. Massive knights who had serious training, owned beautiful armor, and continuously practiced the code of chivalry and crushed evil. Around that time, knights fought for their king and country. Rivetingly, knights sacrificed themselves for their country. That's brave. Knights trained very hard. Knights started highly difficult training at the age of 7. At the age of 7, the bold page moved in and performed chores with the knight. They learned to tenaciously fight with a sword, wrestle, joust, and many other things. What a challenge. At the age of 14, the page transformed into a squire. The squires, who served a true knight, would perform many chores. The knight dubbed the squire, and the squire mutated into a bold knight. Interestingly, when knights didn't fight, they would enter a jousting tournament. Through the medieval history, knights bought beautiful armor. Knights needed shiny armor to be knights. Early armor might have been crafted with chainmail. Blacksmiths who worked tenaciously crafted metal plates. Armor developed into decorated, strong plates of steel. Knights in armor could destroy. Fascinatingly, blacksmiths forged curved elements around 1270. Shields could be used in boldly fought tournaments. Knights must have owned epic armor. The Middle Ages knighthood could have been about the code of chivalry. Originally, chivalry meant horse things. In war, the chivalrous way would be to sacrifices. They would have to defend women and the feeble. They better watch their manners. Knights loyally loved and protected their country. They also had to be gracious and gentle towards ladies. Many broke the code to gain wealth and power. Knights who followed the code of chivalry defended their country. Knights of the mysterious Middle Ages must have worked hard. Knights in training must have had difficult chores. Clean up. Knights owned beautiful armor. They could not be anyone. Interestingly, the code of chivalry could be used by all people at that time. Knights should be known for their great deeds in battle. Knights who might have been the bravest at that time served the king well. The knights might have been one of the most important things that happened to mankind.
Geneva, we are blessed to have our own knight here with us today. So I'm going to invite Sir Robert to come up and share with us a little bit about knighthood, chivalry, and the wonderful armor that he has on today. And then we are going to have our ceremony.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm dressed as a Knights Templar. The Templars were warrior monks that took vows of obedience, poverty, and chastity, and guarded pilgrims during the Crusades. There were roughly 5 major crusades. Most of us are familiar with maybe the Third Crusade that ends toward the end of the 1100s because Richard the Lionhearted was involved, and there's been all sorts of stories, Ivanhoe and so on, about him. I want to show you a little bit about what a knight at that period, and I'm kind of a hodgepodge. This is actually a Norman helmet, English. Why do you think it has this nose piece here? Protect your nose and your face, right? Sure. It's also kind of a cone shape so that when a blade hits the helmet, it'll slide off, hopefully. This particular, we're going to look at this knight up here. This is a later knight because he has plate mail. What I've got is chain mail. Chains are rings that will give you some protection against the various weapons used during a melee. It's heavy. Every year I forget how heavy it is. It's about 35 to 40 pounds for the actual shirt and the helmet. They all have their French names. And some chainmail was very, very expensive. It was handmade. So now after chainmail, what happens during the ebb and flow of the 100 Years' War and a lot of the different battles that knights perform in is weapons advance and then armor advances, and it's back and forth to try to protect the knight. So after the chainmail, I put plate mail over the top. That's what you see with this knight. So he's probably 60, 70, 80 pounds, and if he's mounted on a horse, when he comes off, it's quite a jolt. So, the top coat is called a surcoat. This bottom piece is called a tunic. And these tights, they didn't have tights, but they had wrappings. And this is about as close as I could get to it. And fortunately, it's not 90 degrees yet today, so I'll be taking these off shortly. I want to tell you something, that knights, starting out, were not necessarily chivalrous. And it was the impact of the church that pulled knights back in and developed the concept of chivalry and courtly love. And these concepts elevated knighthood. It was during the feudalism, or the feudalistic system, where everybody, and you'll hear about this when you do the song. I love that part. You'll learn all about feudalism, and everybody answers to somebody else. So today when we do a dubbing ceremony, let me just explain. Naming was very important in the Middle Ages. Names meant something. Today we've kind of lost that sense. Now some of us who start studying our lineage and we look into what our names meant, maybe we're revisiting that a little bit and learning something about it. But a dubbing ceremony is a naming ceremony. It's placing a name upon someone for some sort of accomplishment. The closest thing that most of us have, I think, today is at the end of a church service, the benediction. The blessing of the Lord is placed on the congregation. Well, a naming ceremony to a lesser extent is similar to that. So when we dub these ladies and knights, it means something. That name that they've chosen speaks to that accomplishment and that honor that they're being granted. So now, knights and ladies, I've got, underneath this chainmail, I have what's called an arming cap, and that's a kind of a quilted cap. Particularly for us that don't have much hair, you definitely don't want to have this chainmail bearing down on your skull. And I've got the chainmail, so if I mispronounce your name, tell me. If I can't hear you, I'll probably ask you. I want to get your name right, because that's the importance of a naming ceremony, a dubbing. So don't be embarrassed. Tell me, Sir Knight, here's my name. And I may say, what did you say? Tell me again, and we'll get it. All right, I think that's it. I think we'll begin.
of the round.
All right.
The first lady will be Lady Ellen of the House of Alturas.
Would you kneel, please? Lady Ellen of the House of Alturas. I dub thee a lady with all the rights and privileges contained therein. Congratulations. Let's give her a round of applause.
Lady Anne of the House of Lake Merriam.
Lady Anne of the House of Lake Merriam, I dub thee a lady with all the rights and privileges contained therein. Congratulations.
Lady Rebecca of the House of Oak Square.
Lady Rebecca of the House of Oak Square, I dub thee a lady in recognition of all the rights and privileges contained forthwith. Congratulations.
Lady Caroline of the House of Hibiscus.
Lady Caroline of the House of Hibiscus, I better back up. Don't want to stab you. I dub thee a lady with all the rights and privileges contained therein. Thank you. Congratulations.
Lady Maria of the House of Pine Bend.
Lady Maria of the House of Pine Bend, I dub thee a lady of the realm with all the rights and privileges contained therein. Congratulations.
Lady Grace of the House of Hibiscus.
Lady Grace of the House of Hibiscus, there we go. I dub thee a lady of the realm with all the rights and the privileges contained therein. Congratulations.
Now for our gentlemen. Sir Elijah of the House of Highlands View.
Sir Elijah of the House of Highland View, I dub thee a knight of the realm with all the rights and privileges contained therein. Congratulations.
Sir Haddon of the House of Tecosi Place.
Sir Haddon of the House of what?
Tecosi?
Tecosi? Okay. Sir Haddon of the House of Tecosi Place, I dub thee a knight of the realm with all the rights and privileges therein. Congratulations.
Sir Dudley of the House of Scotsland.
Sir Dudley of the House of Scotsland, I dub thee a knight of the realm with all the rights and privileges contained therein. Congratulations.
Sir Tree of the House of Vintage View.
Sir Tree of the House of Vintage View, I dub thee a knight of the realm with all the rights and privileges forthwith. Congratulations. Yeah, that plate mail can get in the way.
Sir Wiley of the House of River Lake Court.
Sir Wiley of the House of River Lake Court, I dub thee a knight of the realm with all the rank and privileges contained forthwith. Congratulations. Let's give all of our knights and ladies another round.
Okay, so the entertainment portion of our program will be provided by our newly dubbed lords and ladies. And we are going to cover 1,200 years of history in less than 15 minutes. All right, fourth graders. Go ahead and stand.
The Middle Age spans over 1,000 years, when the church went through changes and many tears of castles and knights and 100 years more, crusades, reformation, and much, much more. Augustine of Hippo, this man God did choose in 386 to mightily use. He wrote the city of God and confessions too, with praises. Lord God, you have made us for yourselves, and our hearts are restless until they rest in you. We are barbarians, barbarians are we. We conquered Rome in 476 AD, rah, they turned their backs, we lose it intact. We are barbarians, rah, B-A-R-B-A-R-I-A-N-S, barbarians, we're the best. Justinian made laws that were just and noble. In 527 he was crowned Emperor of Constantinople. He recaptured the land the barbarians had taken from Africa, as all of fierce tribes were shaken. Monasteries, monasteries, men called monks, women called nuns, gathered gracefully holy lives, planted gardens for food to survive, books and Bibles and worship to die. Monasteries, monasteries, another great leader in the church was Jerome. Across the Roman Empire he roamed. He translated the Bible from Hebrew to Latin, and he called it the Vulgate, meaning ordinary or common. Councils were important in the course of church history to answer questions about God and bring unity.
B25, on this year, Christ is God. 301, Council of Constantinople, Holy Spirit is God. 431, Council of Ephesus, Holy Bread.
451, Council of Chalcedon, the Christ is both man and God.
Muhammad was man descended from Ishmael, claimed to have a vision from the angel Gabriel, telling him to start a new religion called Islam and to write a book which is called the Quran. He denied that Jesus is God's son and said that Allah was the only one who chose him to be the last prophet of the sword, and praised God for the truth of his word.
1 John 4:1-2. Many false prophets have gone out in the world. This is how you can recognize the Spirit of God. Every spirit that acknowledges that Jesus Christ has come in the flesh is from God, but every spirit that does not acknowledge Jesus is not from God.
732, an important date in history. Charles the Hammer defended Christianity in France. The Franks stood bravely shield to shield and forced the Muslims to finally yield. The Battle of Tours sent the Muslims on the run. The Crescent was defeated by the sun. Na 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 na, na 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 na, hey hey hey, goodbye.
Ptolemy, 776 through 814 AD.
King of the Franks, great word, defended the Pope's goods to Lombards. 880 Christmas Day, crowned emperor by the Pope.
Restored empire in the West.
The Hebrew students established schools.
Hired a crew. Who taught the tribute, made excellent laws, and appointed judges.
Long live Charles Augustus, Emperor of the Romans! Vikings, mighty Vikings, from sagas found in history, were farmers, navigators, and warriors fierce as they could be. 1 year in 1003, we've made a trip across the sea. Finland, he discovered, with trees and grapes and deer galore. We're hiding in the bushes, where we may never see before. Woo! taught Bible stories to ignorant people. Here's a cathedral, here is a steeple. Open the doors and see all the people. Onward, Christian soldiers, marching on to war. To repair Jerusalem from the mighty wars. 9 crusades were started, or 200 years. When and where it all fought with many tears. Onward, Christian soldiers, marching on to war. With the cross of Jesus going on before. There was a king of England who nobody loved. King John was his name. Thanks, John. King John. He was a cruel tyrant. Your bands are taking your son hostage, seizing your property, and evil mates are raising taxes. Again? Yes. We know the true author of history, and from all things come good. In 1215, the nobles rebelled and the Magna Carta stood as a magnificent document granting all men's rights. Centuries later, our Constitution came from it. Marco Polo, European traveler, 1270, 1290, born in Venice, lived in China. Marco Polo, Marco Polo. In 1378, the Roman Church split. The Great Papal Schism is what they called it. To France, the Pope moved and left Italy, known as the Babylonian captivity. Pope Gregory XI saw Europe slipping away and moved back to Rome, but some wanted to stay. So now there were 2 popes and soon would be 3. I'm the Pope. No, I'm the Pope.
No, I'm the Pope.
What should we do? We all disagree.
I know, a church council. That's what we'll do. Assign these 3 popes and elect someone new.
At the Council of Constance, the schism did end. 1 pope ruled in Italy. His name was Martin.
Now I'm the Pope. France! England! France! England! France! England! For 100 years, France and England fought a related power. Continuously? No, on and off, 200 years more. Hey, where did everybody go? They died in the flag.
The flag! In 1418, a young peasant maid claimed to hear voices when she prayed. Joan, telling her to lead the French in a fight and to drive out the English in spite of their might. Joan was victorious time and again, but was finally captured in the end. In 1431, she was burned as a witch, but 500 years later, the church made a switch. They refuted the picture of her they did paint and proclaimed her now to be a saint. Constantinople falling down, falling down, falling down. Constantinople falling down, conquered by the Muslims. Roman Empire now is gone, now is gone, now is gone. Roman Empire now is gone, conquered by the Muslims. Istanbul is the new name, the new name, the new name. Istanbul is the new name, given by the Muslims.
You know what was the most important invention of all time?
Was it gunpowder?
No.
Was it the cannon?
No way. I know, it was the compass. Nope.
We give up.
It was the printing press. How do you know? Because I'm John Newton, and I invented it. In 1456, I printed the movable type ink.
It changed the world. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Galileo, born in 1564, invented the telescope to see sun, moon, planets, and galaxies. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Galileo learned just who you are. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Used his telescope to see afar. Discovered Earth moved around the sun, but this didn't please everyone. The church charged him with heresy, but changed their mind in 1983. A little late. In 1400, for over 400 years, Europe was transformed by a flood of ideas. In architecture, art, science, sculpture, this period is known as the Renaissance.
Reformation. Sola Scriptura.
Scripture alone.
Sola Gratia.
Grace alone.
Sola Fides. Faith alone. Sola Christi.
Christ alone.
Sola Dei Gloria.
The glory of God alone.
John Wycliffe, Morning Star of the Reformation, died in 1384.
John Huss burned at the stake 1415.
Martin Luther nailed his 95 Theses to the door of the Wittenberg Church, October 31st, 1517.
William Tyndale translated the Bible into English, burned at the stake, 1536.
John Calvin, author of the Institutes of the Christian Religion, 1536.
John Knox, brought the Reformation in Scotland, 1555.
On thee my care I cast without my delight. Anne Askew, tortured and burned at the stake, 1546.
In 1478, the Inquisition, in accordance with the proclamation of the Catholic religion, tried to bring elimination to the Protestant Reformation and bring people to submission through torture and humiliation. But God, through providential intervention and by His gracious salvation, kept His children of election from their enemies' detection. I'm Henry Dick, Henry Dick, I am. I've been married 6 times before, but died before I could have one more. The Pope did love of Henry. Henry, so sweet of the church. I'm a great old man, I'm Henry. Henry Dick, I am. Henry Dick, I am. Edward, Mary, and Elizabeth were the children of King Henry. One day he died, the people cried, now who will next might be? Edward and I became the king and reformed the English church. At 16 died, the people cried, now who will next might be? Now who will next might be? Next in line came Bloody Mary, who proved to be quite scary. Off with their heads! One day she died, the people didn't cry. Now who will next might be? For 40 years ruled good Queen Bess, who was truly blessed. Protestant, they became an honored God's name. Now England is the best. Yes, England is the best. In 2017, we completed our trip through the Middle Ages, and we learned quite a bit of castles and knights and the 100 Years' War. Can't wait till 5th grade till we learn much more.
All right, the moment you guys have all been waiting for. Okay, so what we presented today was the finale of a very busy year. Each of these students has worked hard, not only in the area of academics, but also through their relationships and personal character. Each individual was given the opportunity this year to achieve knighthood through outstanding effort in class and through daily habits like chores and devotions. Well, one student will be given a special award today, the Knight or Lady of the Realm. Points were a factor in this award, but more importantly, this person's academic achievement and character were taken into consideration. This person displays a modern chivalry that should be recognized. I am pleased to announce that this year's Lady of the Realm is Emily Holbert. All right, at this time I would like to invite Sir Calai to come up and close our ceremony.
Congratulations, knights and ladies. Well done. Proud of you. Let's close in prayer, please. Heavenly Father, praise you and exalt you, our God and King, and you are reigning over your kingdom. Lord, we thank you that you have called us to serve with you and serve you, and that we can be regents here on earth. We can help to take dominion and move the gospel forward. And Lord, we thank you for that challenge today, and I pray that each one of us can take it to heart, and that we would seek to be who you have created us to be. We would seek after you and seek after the Lord. Bless these students, bless their families, and I pray that this year, as they have studied, would make a difference in their lives, and not only their lives, but in the lives of many, many others, that you would use them to affect your church, our community and even our nation and even the world. Lord, we don't know who is in this class and how you're going to use them in the future. Maybe there's a Martin Luther here or Gutenberg. Lord, we have no idea. So we just bless them and pray for them and lift them up to you and pray for your work in their lives. And we pray this in the matchless name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Oh, we have a reception in the cafeteria, and everybody is welcome to come to that. Take some family photos here first, and then head to the cafeteria. Thanks for coming.
Which is the Gummy Bear Award. This award is going to a person that is very caring and a huggable classmate to Madison Matthews. Oh, wait, all right. My next award is called the Sweet Tarts Award. This is for a student who is such a sweet friend to everyone in class. It goes to Eleni Katsaris. You're welcome. All right, this award is for a student who's always lending a helping hand to others in class. It's the Lifesavers Award, and it goes to Ed. All right, the Starburst Award, my favorite candy. This is for a star student who worked hard almost every day in class. Gavin Alligood. This is the Milky Way Award for setting an example for others by having quality work that was out of this world. Joshua Rayl. Okay. The Spree Award. This one goes to someone who helps keep others on track, loves turning in work on time. Lindsay Baker. You're welcome. years to come. They're going to see this information again in a few years.